All right, so this session is about Weebly Website Builder. If you have no idea what that is, it's just um, a free online website that you can build websites with. And the reason I know a little bit about it is because it's what I use with my seventh graders for the second half of every semester. They build a website based on what they learn over the course of the year. So if it's first semester kids, they only have August to December's worth of information. And second semester, I usually give them the option of doing everything they've learned that year because they'll focus on it, or just the last semester. So that is where my expertise comes from, but I will tell you that I am still a novice when it comes to it because actually they add new stuff to it all the time. There's a free side of it and there's a paid side of it, which is pretty easy to tell which is which because when you click on something, you're like, wow, that'd be really cool. When you do that, it'll immediately ask you for credit card information, so you know, oh, apparently that's the pro version. So kids are always like, wait a minute, it's asking me for my credit card. I'm like, do you have a credit card? No. Okay, then guess what? Okay, so the first day, so today, so you guys can actually play with it. So you're going to go to www.weebly.com and you're going to click on the sign up. So it will look like this when you get to it. And there is an educational side of it, which is the one I use with my kids. If you're going to use it like that with kids so that they can do it, I would suggest using that side. If you're going to use it for yourself, then I would use this side because actually both websites look completely different. I'll show you what the educational one looks like after a minute. But right now, you're going to go in here and you're going to click on sign up. So I'll give you a couple seconds because you're logging in.
My computer's still preparing Windows for Eric.
Oh yeah. If you've only been here, this is your first time. Welcome to this room.
There we go. Oh, you're in another side of the world from the admin.
Yeah, you should be able to. I got that here. You should be able to use the Google Plus for sign up if you're signed into your email or if you're signed into Chrome. If you got on Chrome, get on the Firefox, you would have to go to your email so that Google knows you're signed in. Then that will work. If that doesn't work, then all you have to do is just hit the regular sign up, fill in the details, make sure your credentials. And when you do get signed in, it's going to ask you, hey, is it okay? Oh, you're there then. Okay, you're good. Are you signed in?
I signed in and I just put my.
Well, you're there then.
Select a theme.
A theme. If you are at select a theme, you're there. If you're at select a theme, then just kind of stop for a second.
Can I close this and go back?
Why do you want to close and go back?
I thought it was voice, so just.
Then you can close, yes. There you go. You guys got one get one here? Alright.
Oh, so that's just, okay.
Alright, so if you are signed in, the first thing it asks you about is the theme. And all that does is give you a pre-finished background that you can use. And there are like lots of them. I will tell you this, if you're going to use it here at school and you are going to use it with students, just keep in mind, especially if they're high school and they would be using their laptops, Wi-Fi situation, because we're hardwired in here and it still like gets bogged down when I'm working with them. A lot of times like when they try to update it or publish it, it will take a while because everybody's trying to get to the same place from the same place, and obviously there are other people in the world using this at the same time. So it's very graphic heavy, as you can see just from the pictures that you can use for your background, but it's really pretty easy to use. So I'm going to show you mine that I made yesterday, and like I spent about a half an hour on this one. So I picked my background that I wanted. Everything is like click and point or drag or copy and paste. So it's really pretty easy. So I'm just curious, why did most of you guys come today? Do you want something for yourself, or are you looking at something to use in the classroom?
I've had some students use it for class prep. When I say do something creative, they've went to this, but I don't know what they're really doing. So I was like, well, if I'm going to actually help them with this, and it could be something I have all the students do.
Okay.
I was thinking for my volleyball team.
Okay. Because I know Brian's wife Beth does the youth stuff at their church, and he showed her it, and like she's by no means tech savvy, and he said she loves it. So I told him about it. So bless you. So I'm just going to show you what this looks like. I mean, the pages, generally a rule in websites is you don't want to have to scroll a lot. That's one thing I don't really like, is the base pages they give you. You do have a lot of, some people are getting excited. But yeah, there's all kinds. So see, this stuff I didn't change. So you can see there's like 4 panels of information there. I didn't go all the way down to the bottom of it. And when, yeah, I know, right? So when you, one thing I have found, and when I took actual web building class in my master's stuff, one of the things they talked about was not having huge pages to scroll, because people will miss stuff at the bottom, especially if it's something important, or if the scroll bar is not real handy for them to see, they might miss it. So if you're thinking about making a web page for your parents to come and see, you might want to keep that in mind, because especially if it's something like, kids need to have this for this week, and it's all the way at the bottom, and then they don't scroll all the way down. Especially like, my example there where you get to the eye candy part and you're like, hey, and then you completely forget where you were, and then you're like, okay, I'm going to go to the next page. So see, all this stuff was pre-made like that other one down at the bottom with the Latin stuff, and I just went in, clicked on it, put what I wanted to. Where all the pictures are, there were other pictures in there, so all I had to do was go in and edit those from pictures I found. I will tell you this, if you ever get pictures off of Google, okay, and you want to put them on a website, I would always save that picture first. And the reason for that is, when it's on the web, it's at a website, especially if you're finding it on Google. So if you just copy and paste it, if the person who has that picture, or the website where that picture's at, gets taken down, and then all of a sudden you're like, where's my picture at? That's why. Because the link will be broken. Or even if they just move that picture, it's trying to go to a specific place on the web to find that picture for you. So I always tell my kids, download it and save it on your S drive, which would be you guys' T drive, and that way you know you'll have it. Okay? The contact page on these are pretty cool. It has a spot where you can obviously put your contact information, and then it even has a map section down here, and when you edit that, you can type in the address you want. So I put the address of the school there, put that in. All right, so we'll go out here. This is like the dashboard of it. So you can have multiple websites actually on here for free. I have never got to the point where it's like, whoop, you got too many, wait, and you can always delete ones you don't want. This will tell you the name of it. This will drop down right here. See how accurate my board is. See, you can tell right here I've got 1, 2, before. This one's actually one that I made, play around with. See how smart my smart board is today.
Wow.
Alright, so this one I made just playing around for New Paris, because that's where we are. That's where I live. So, you know, found pictures of what I wanted. Got a little quiz that I put in there. So there are quizzes, surveys that you can do that you can put in there. And it will have a default number of pages, which if you look up here at the top of the page, when you click on the word pages, that will open up. These, if you've ever worked with PowerPoint, which I'm sure you all have, if you know over in the panel on the left when you want to move a slide, like you want number 2 to be number 7, these work the exact same way. You just click on it and drag it where you want it to be, and it'll change everything. And it'll change all of these in the thread. So if I want my welcome to actually be the first thing, I watch over here, see how I popped it over there to the first. Editing, you just click on it. Here's where you would change the name. I know I'm going through this fast, but I'm trying to do it so you guys have time to actually play with it, and I can help you one-on-one. I'm not going to lie, there are things down in here, the SEO settings, I have no clue what that is. But I do know that when it opens up, it'll tell you what the page title will be and how it appears up here. So like if I wanted to say landing page, it might actually say landing page up there. All right. Store is just that. It's for if you wanted to set something up and sell something online. So if you had kids that were interested in doing something where they had an online presence where they actually had a store that they could set up, you got that option. Obviously, that one's going to cost money and be more in the pro side. And it does have a nice help section, but I will tell you there are tons of videos on YouTube. One thing I keep in mind is that, like I told you at the beginning, when I came to this yesterday, I hadn't used it since fall, and they had a bunch of new stuff. There's like 3 big things that came up when I first started, changes, and they were all things for the better. Like when you wanted to add a picture before, it would only put it in a certain place. Now you can actually drag it down into the middle of text and put it where you want, things like that. That's a smart board. It's old and tired, and even after you get Okay, so I told you I was going to show you what the education side looks like. This is what it looks like on its landing page. You can actually set up your classes, and I want to click and show you this real quick. So here's what my educational site looks like, and it's different than I have my sites up here, and then down here when I have my kids make them, I have them make me an editor. So that means I can go in and make comments on their website, stuff like that. So that's why you would see like their actual website name that they have.
This is the project you use when they go
Yeah.
always get their science notebook.
Yeah, so if you didn't, like what I was talking about at the beginning, so here's Brianne and Caitlin's website, which with them, I really try to push the point that if you're gonna, they have to do a bibliography at the end of it. So regardless of whether they got information from a teacher's class or whether they got it offline, they use EasyBib, and then they make a bibliography for the last page on there. Some of them are really good, some of them are not very good at all. But I do try to get them into the habit of thinking about, hey, I didn't make this, I need to give somebody credit for it. So I've also pointed them at Getty Images, because it usually tells who the photographer is and some at least basic information so they can get, but you can see there's, and depending on how you set the page up, notice up here at the top, their navigation pane, You know, where on the one I showed you earlier had like 4 or 5 buttons, you might see this more button. They have to identify the page with their name and which one they were doing. So let's see what Brian did for her science page. So we got Phases of the Moon. One thing I've really tried to push with them is make a website that would make you want to go back to it. That's the whole thing about websites to begin with. And you guys know that because you know there are websites that you go to, not like the ODE website that's I want to spend about 5 seconds on when I go there because it's so horrible to try to navigate. But and how does it look? I mean, you can have the greatest content in the world there, and if it looks terrible, nobody's going to want to be there. So even if you're making one for your parents to go to, the same thing's going to happen. You still got to think about those basic things. And this one's a real good example. Dark background, light text. Now, this part right down here where the Getty image tag is makes it a little hard to read, but they still follow the #1 rule, which is if you use something with a dark background, use light text and vice versa. If you got light background, use dark text. It's amazing how many people, when you go on the web, don't get that. And that's like a #1 rule of thumb. Remember that. Huh? Yeah. Yeah, black and blue are not good combinations together for whatever reason. So see, here's where they kind of like lost that. Oh, I didn't really double check. Videos, you can definitely stick a video in there.
And now, ASAP Science presents the elements of the period.
Yeah, that's all we needed that. Okay, so once you've got in there, once you've got your background picked, you've got your pages kind of set up, I would recommend that every time when you build a website, really make sure you get the landing page, whatever that's going to be, done well before you really go to something else. So just today, I want to give you guys enough time to play with it. So I want you to like only do 2 pages unless you like just go crazy and you can really think of something. I want you to think about how you would use it in your classroom, like where you could get parents more. You know, we talked about how do you connect to the parents thing, because that when you have your review, right? You have your administrative review or whatever. They always say, how do you contact parents? So unless you're just doing something like Eric, I know you got parents all the time probably and involved in stuff. But for most of us, that doesn't happen, especially from about middle school through you guys. It's just really hard to get parents involved with stuff. Like they love coming and doing stuff in elementary, but it's like once they hit 5th and 6th grade, they just like less and less all the time that connectivity of getting them in here to do something. So giving them a way to get a hold of it. And let's face it, I love Moodle, I do, but it's not exactly navigator easy when it comes to getting on and finding stuff. So if you can make a way for your parents to get there easier, like even if you put a link to Moodle on your homepage, or a link to the student's grade book so they wouldn't have to go through and find all that stuff, that would be a really good thing to do. So again, I'm trying to show you here that when you go to your pages, you got up here in the ribbon, the actual place to click on it. This will open up, and this is where your different pages are going to be, and you can add different pages with the plus sign. And then again, you can just click on each one of those little labels to change the title, whatever. And then we talked about reordering them. I would do that just like you would in PowerPoint. Renaming is easy to click and type it in. there so you guys can have those. And I'll share this to you so you can have those. But here's just some quick videos. But again, there are lots of different ones that you can find. And I would always try to find the most current ones because, and always make sure you listen to them if you want to, like, give one, you know, for your kids to follow and listen to. Because, like, sometimes there are very helpful people from different countries that you might not understand everything they say. Because yesterday when I was looking for some, I found this little Indian guy. I'm like, okay, I can't really understand everything he's saying, but so there's some links to that. Again, here's the education one. I would highly recommend using this if you're going to do it with kids at all. This part, because then it gives you that management part that you can go in and look at their different stuff. Especially, I would encourage you to have them make you an editor so that you can actually get to their stuff and see it. And if they make you, they can make you an editor, or they can make it so it's just viewable to you.
So you use the same login information?
Yeah, you can. I actually use my school email with this one, and I use my regular Gmail with the other one. Just so I've got two different ways to get to it. Especially since I'm using one for school and one for
Is it bad that I only use one email, my school email for everything? Should I not do that?
I don't know, because actually I don't use my school email for very much. I usually use my regular email for everything.
How's that? I used to have like 3 or 4 emails, and finally I just forwarded them all, and then I'm like, forwarded them to one, so there are a couple other ones out there, but they're all, well, there's only 2, my CTC one and this one.
Because I actually have, when my kids share like Google stuff to me, I actually have to usually send it to my regular Gmail.
Okay.
Even though I've got my school email synced with that, so I still get it, but it goes to a different place in my inbox.
Yeah, I know, but
All right, so does anybody have any questions like right now? Because what I want to do is I want to give you like a bunch of time to like play with it. That way, if you find stuff that you need help with, I can show you.
So,
Do that.
how do you navigate around to the pages once you're on? Like, when you go back to the home page?
Once you're here, then right here where it says pages, when you click on that,
So my problem is we do have this website here. So like for FFA,
Okay, we go on, because I tried this section.
this is something I generated for software we already.
yeah.
Like it's like, I won't make them look
Okay,
good,
so
but
like the
it's
provider
like,
should be,
So let's say I did it here, right?
now it's going to be, so you figured out Dragon uses out the resident, right?
No.
Okay, yeah, so, yeah, you click and drag it,
Okay.
and then like, if this is a section, then this will be a new section.
Oh, I see.
And then same thing, you can drag that above or below it. Mm-hmm. Yeah, when you click on it, it should be a text box over there on the head. You might need to press scroll or
These? No, it's a week.
No, no, that's
Okay.
go.
Thanks. Thank you.
Good.
Change it to that font.
On which one? Okay, if it's a like header, sometimes it's gonna be because it's like a cache, right? So you might have to just insert a regular text frame so you can change it to the size of the font you want. There are some default things. I would think.
Just change that.
Yep.
Just delete it.
Now, did you highlight it before you changed?
I tried, yeah.
Okay.
And I tried to reset and drop elements here.
something.
I just do that later.
Yeah, they have.
No, it's just saying, oh, okay, so go back to Bill.
Oh.
Yeah, and then you
See,
can go back
these
to
two are
the
different. This one's gonna give you different options about it. So
Yeah.
if you just want text, I would pull that over.
Click
Click on, right, there you go.
Alright.
Yeah.
Probably fine. Okay, there it is.
They won't let you change it on the slide.
See, it's still coming up as that, so now, do I change the text now?
Right there is the lowercase, and then
Seems like it's great, because that means that you gotta have.
See, I tried to move it down here too, but I thought it'd be cool down
and it
there.
does like stack things, and that's, yeah.
It wouldn't let me the first time. You have to go back to, where was it? Title, yeah, click in title.
Now it should be in here.
Well, I couldn't find it. There you go.
I think it has something to do with Firefox, but find it, so refresh it and see.
Okay. I think I had to go back to the text one.
Oh, by the way, this is where you can pick what you want your website name's gonna be.
Oh,
Which if
okay.
you do the free version, when you put this in, it'll be whatever you put there, basically, as long as somebody else doesn't have it at Weebly, .weebly.com.
Okay.
But if you wanted a, like, your own, these two here
Mhm.
are gonna be pay, so pay stuff's gonna come up, but it's,
Okay.
and I would go ahead and put something in there, you can always change that later.
Right.
There you go. And you're just hitting continue.
Okay. So, what that was?
Yeah. So you got your picture back then, right?
Yeah. So, okay, that's, I'm okay with that. And I put that in.
You know, that was just a picture overlay.
Right. But then when I go. Oh wait, I went to theme. Change fonts, that's what I did.
What was that under theme?
Theme. And so, change fonts.
Oh, there it is. Delete. that's what we probably took off. When
Ah,
it was all.
okay, good, okay, but, and also I wanted to move it down here, like, I'm gonna make it bigger, but I think it has to stay down to, and it's down there, I'm gonna do that.
Because that was one of the new things that I saw that it would let you do. Because that's what I always have problem with it doing right there before. Please.
Move it, you know, get that. Yeah, see, it won't let me move that at all.
Like it won't let you put it over the top of it.
Yeah, like it's covering aerial space. Line height.
This is the butcher shop wanting to know if I still wanted to haul for Wednesday for the barbecue dinner on Friday. I'm like, yep.
Is that one?
Yeah, they have a whole bunch of them. They have a hog farm and then they also have a butcher shop. So they can just go get one and
Well, that makes that.
it works. Last year, Mr. Parker asked if I could get a hog for him like the week of, or maybe the week before. I'm like, it's March. It's cold. And he wants us home. Really? Going to. We're gonna do it again.
I don't think you can.
Oh, there.
Like that? Yeah. Yeah, that was one of the things I forgot that that's something the kids showed me. Because I could figure that out. That's how I play. My daughters how to play.
Yeah.
I found out because they're like, hey, can you do this? She was a go slide. Didn't I give her $1?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I have to right after.
Because she had the video thing. She's like, watch this, Mr. Wilson. Right? Like, I did not know that.
This is probably one of the best meetings.
I think I gave her a whole day that day.
I gave Herd one the other day because he used to do something in Excel I didn't know. And I was like, dang, yeah. I was like, video. He's like,
With the middle and bottom.
like blew his mind. Okay. Like I think you could just get
Now, part of
to do
that could
something
be
like incredible that I didn't know that really is going to help me.
here. Part of that can be get their head screwed on straight. Sometimes you gotta get knocked down before you get up and do what you're supposed to do.
Then, if you want to see what it actually looks like, I would.
Like
It saves stuff while you're working on it, but I like publish it when I got something just the way I want it. Because then I can actually see it. That's new. Everything we got grass, you have to go and slap it.
Oh, I
So
see.
there's grass, there's grass,
Okay.
there's grass. I think you're done.
Okay.
Okay, publish my site.
I don't have to give the X, Y,
Your
Z.
parent, yeah. And there's your link, so
I thought.
that's what you should click on.
Okay,
right now, you could delete that, and you would only have the home page. So like if you want to maintain your own page, like you can give that link to
Yeah.
the other one, yeah.
But I mean, I'm wondering, I'm on.
The other A.
What?
I was telling her if you want, like if you want that connected into the trail page, then you could give it to Alexander, and then he could put a link, that link on the other page, so it would actually go to stuff that you could keep pictures updated on it, or games or stuff. Like I said, you can put videos on there, so if you got, video of somebody playing really well, like Scout wants to see or something.
Right.
So see all that stuff is things so you can just click and change and make it whatever you want it to be.
Yeah. Like if I look at the.
Just like
Okay, so now to get
then you can go to this tab. Next there, right back in it. Yeah.
that would be this page.
A little lob over.
Turn them on or turn the.
Make it short pass, you know?
So like if you wanted to get rid of that, you can go to the pages tab. And like, if you didn't want that, you can just.
But what if
If you didn't want,
what
if
if
you
I
want to
want-
change, well, the thing is, it's set up as a store page,
Oh,
so you, so that's gonna,
so I
that's the
could put
thing.
team store.
Definitely.
Yeah,
More
you can do that.
his favor than ours.
Team store.
Learning, legal's welcome.
But do they fall in?
Never.
It's the internet that crashes sooner or later. You know, when like with some Amazon types in the wrong piece of code.
Wait,
You tell you about that?
no.
Yeah, like a third of it dropped. Like Friday. Like after school though.
Oh, I did see that.
Apparently somebody like a third of it runs through Amazon or something like that. Somebody typed in the wrong piece of code and it went, oh.
That's not important.
Grant somebody access like that, it's fine. So you
Use
get a great
Yahoo for your search. Cindy Blossom.
I did not do that. I know, I usually don't. How did I
You
do
know how
that?
to change that?
I did on my computer. Why
But if
didn't
you don't have everything synced, whatever. I mean, you can go to Firefox. But I haven't used Firefox. I don't know.
You can use it.
My Chrome. Chrome.
It's all there. It's all sharing. There's your colors.
The only thing that would make it better was if it was named Bacon. It would be the best site ever, you know that, right? Get most views. Do they ever get it where you can smell online? And that get your homepage is bacon?
Be like General's breakfast in the morning. The bacon was spread out throughout the entire building.
You need to do that.
Walk in the
once a
building, I'm
month.
like,
Can you guys be up for actually doing that on a teacher appreciation breakfast?
I'm trying to.
They cook it in bacon, not in the
I don't know,
Like you guys doing that whole thing you did,
Yeah.
and then teacher appreciation, like because the school pays for the one that we get anyway, we might as well be paying you guys. Because then people will be eating it and smiling, as opposed to grimacing, wondering how soon diarrhea is going to set in.
I don't know if I could handle getting up at 4 o'clock in the morning again. That's the only downfall to that appreciation, because I'm up with them. And I'm like, When do you guys do what? I told the kid, I was like, when are you gonna do just one of these for me?
I said, just for breakfast, just for Christmas, because
Right.
I tell you, you saw my reaction. I was like, these are eggs.
Yeah.
These
I
are
didn't get
actually
any
real
eggs. I got
eggs.
the
Yeah, you know, and we had the same amount as we did the other two.
I know, but when I saw real eggs, maybe I took an extra scoop. I don't know. I tell you, some people went back. Some people got.
I walked
Some
out
people
with
went
a
and got more
handful of
bacon.
I walked out with a handful of bacon. I turned. I don't know.
We should have got
I think I turned Mr. Parker. Mr. Parker was walking out with us. I was like, hey, this is bacon.
Look,
This is the real chewy good stuff.
yeah, I was
Not
like,
the oven baked crunchy stuff.
no, the one I like to make a point on is sausage.
Yeah.
I was like, that most certainly
And all,
came from a pig.
and see, and the thing is, it all comes through Dorothy, from GFS, everything.
Yeah, you see, the one that we get.
I order it all because it's cheaper for me to get it through her, because I was gonna go to Kroger's and get all of it, and I'm like, she gets a school discount through the cafeteria, through GFS, so she just orders it, it comes in on their delivery, and I just go back to the kitchen, get it, and go back here and prep.
Okay, then I gotta send Parker an email. We're gonna be like, why is it that the same stuff comes from the same place, delivered to the same school, yet the two breakfasts could not be further apart from one another? One, you feel appreciated. The other one, you feel like we're trying to push you out the door.
I looked at it, because when I ordered it my first year, I'm like, I really don't want to get like regular cafeteria style. I want to like get the good stuff. She goes, okay. I don't know. I should have just
Run the numbers. It comes out. It's like, oh yeah, but doing it this way is $50 cheaper.
I think it. I think we have maybe $300 or $400 in everything. I haven't seen the final bill from this year because we incorporated a lot more fruit this year. Fruit's freaking expensive.
Oh yeah.
And I know we do the fruit sale, but we don't.
As far as I'm concerned, you can leave that crap out.
Well,
Put another table of sausage on.
but we had all that. We had. So the big massive thing of the fruit contest, we had basically two of those, because there was a whole other round of everything back in the, and we had just maybe a tub of stuff. Like fruit, everything. I mean, there was the only thing that was tons of left was like pancakes, because I didn't get the memo to make some flour before she started mixing the batter. That we only do half the case, not the full case of batter, because then I use it in the summertime for a couple things.
Well, see, that's the thing. You know, you don't get a breakfast like that every day.
Right.
Filling up on fruit. No, fruit's what you have at a regular breakfast. Okay.
That's why we make sure we have on the
So you had two vegans.
What? That's their problem.
But even if you have
for this straight dinner, I bought
and all the people who are trying to lose weight.
the official elected official lunch.
I know. I went and just ate some bacon.
This week we're roasting a whole. So I got to pick it up Wednesday night, and then we'll roast it all day back there Thursday.
I mean,
And
if you were
next week we're cooking all those pork loins. I got about 16 pork loins this week at Kroger's when they're on sale. And we're gonna smoke them back next. Well, I gotta figure out when. I'm out 3 days next week already. And I'm like, last year I left the hog to cook with shrimp. He subbed for me last year. I had a meeting at CTC. And I'm like, hey,
You roast a hog.
yeah, I need to roast a hog while you're here today. I was like, the kids will do all of it. You just need it. And then I got this text from him. Hey, because it was snowing that day when we roasted last year. He goes, hey, the tent just blew away. It was like back lot or something. Anyway.
Wait, so you have something going on this weekend?
We're no longer
Well,
allowed to stay.
the Buckeye barbecue.
You check out the Weather Channel?
I don't want to look at it. We just roll with it now.
Thursday and Friday.
Oh, I know. Saturday?
Saturday.
Oh, Saturday.
3 to 5.
3 conventions? Are you kidding me? I do.
That's what it said on this
We're
morning.
going to Washington Courthouse for a livestock judging contest on Saturday.
A friend of mine was telling me, you know, that his track season starts today.
Yeah.
And he was like, I don't think it's going to matter. We're just going to have to clean up the snow off of it. And I was like, shut up. He goes, you look. Sure enough, got on there 35 inches.
I don't have practice Saturday anyway. Like
Oh,
Saturday.
he's a runner.
How do you so
Let's not run some more. All
how
right,
do
well,
you
that's better for
use
you
it
to
quick
walk.
here to publish?
Yeah, then you could,
That's what I was up there running, and Jeremy and I ran a lap. And so we started walking through and running straight. It's better for you anyway. It's burning more fat.
I got so many bone spurs
It's
on
online now?
my right foot. No, I walk and at times I can't. I have to stop because it's just catching every movement. I think I did.
They slept so
I did 6 miles. I don't know, yesterday. Between mile 3 and 4.
I realize he's been sleeping almost an hour.
I was walking like freaking for a tank.
You're gonna hope one of those days
I
come.
was like, what's wrong with you? And I was like, well, because
For my fifth graders keyboarding.
We had, when I was in high school, we did keyboarding. Our keyboarding instructor was a former shop teacher. So he built out of wood a box, and it has a lip down here. You it was just very big enough to fit your hands in. And he had this great big box, and then he was like, then if he did have the kids, they never had to move it because they could just write, they could put their worksheet right up on top of it. And so he's like, you don't lose any table space.
Yeah. The thing I use with them is all online now. We used to use boxes like that one, which is probably this, and then it had a little fold down thing.
Yeah, his was all like they were like professionally made things because he was a former teacher. Because he's like,
Scratch.
like, hey, scratch. What are we doing that we're gonna scratch? Looking back, I was like, oh, not a big deal, but. Okay, so yeah, this. And then I can put a link right to our calendar there. To our other website. We have so many, like this website is included. So it's telling Joy
Oh, yeah.
in our online purchase for our AEP account of our online records and so the kids have access to this.
Yeah, and then you're gonna pick whatever you want your this is what will be your website, your actual.
I can change it later, right?
I'm pretty sure you can,
Okay,
but you can,
so I just let them pick it for me?
well, I would just put in there Judy Brown's
Okay.
math page or
Judy
whatever you
Brown.
want it to be.
Yeah, that's good. It's around mathematics. So it's all.
Yeah, because it won't let you put a space in, so.
Okay.
Mr. Wilson, appreciate it.
Hey, that's all right.
Yeah, it was helpful.
Well, these kids, they come in and use it, and then that case curriculum I use, they have some other website to go to make online presentations, kind of like just Google Slides, but something else that takes passwords, all this stuff, and no kid ever finds a way to do it this week. Make it on the animal science website.
Street numbers.
I don't think I've missed one before.
Also check the new images. Okay, let's see. All squares with street signs. There, right? Okay.
Yeah. Probably, because that last one didn't do it. There we go.
And it's gonna tell me.
So this will be your actual link.
Okay. So that's
It
where
would
I
still
go
get you
to,
there.
and I can go in and
Yeah.
change it. Okay. Is that where I go to change it?
Yeah.
And then.
Well, no, this will be,
Where you go.
that will be to actually see. If you want to go back into it, you just log into weebly.com.
Change it, log. Okay. Nice, that's easy. I had one before on Wix.com, that was really hard to use.
That's what I used to use. Used to
Me
use
too,
that.
that's my campus. I still have website on it. It's complicated, I thought. It just took so long.
Because I used it with the kids before too. Got to a place where it wasn't even working, so I was looking for
So
something
you
else.
like this one better, yeah. Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, we're going to lay out for a while. We can put things in it.
Fair enough. I know this session was,
Yeah.
we were gonna get a blast, but we can't use Nearpod anymore. Our free trial,
What's
they haven't
this one?
bought it.
What's this one? You like